Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Betty Truder. Welcome back to the Outer Worlds for the brand new DLC campaign, Murder on Eridanos, and I'm rather excited for this one, because this appears to be a murder mystery. Obsidian have made a DLC murder mystery campaign, and okay, let's just dive into this one, because this sounds rather exciting. So, the game recommends for Murder on Eridanos, you're bringing a character of about level 30. So, though I've already got a character that played through the first DLC campaign, I ended up about level 33 or 34, something about there, during that. So, to make sure I'm about the right level, what I've done is I've loaded my character from before I did the first DLC campaign. So, this is a character at level 30, just before I begin the final mission in the game. So, hopefully, that should be about balance for what the game's expecting me to be. Just a quick reminder, I am a gunner with a preference for, yes, long guns and sniper rifles, though at only 67, damage dealing is not really what I'm best at. Instead, yes, I'm pretty damn good at talking, I am very good at sneaking, so sneak attacks, sniping, together with a good few support skills, so science in particular, very, very good at that, so kind of a bit of a blend of characters, but mainly I want to be keeping a distance. And most importantly of all, I have an absolutely fabulous hat, which gives me +1 perception, which in this game is huge. Right, Ada, by any chance has a mysterious message about a murder mystery just come in?
Impeccable timing, Captain. I was about to watch the latest episode in Halcyon Helen's thrilling serial adventure.
It was the law-forsaken parasites. I had become obsessed. My quest to stop them. To avenge my partner, Philip. And my ex-partner, Bernice. And Lieutenant Jurgen. And those two informants had brought me to Rizzo's distillery. But it wasn't just the triple distilled deliciousness of Rizzo's Spectrum brand vodka that I found there. It was death. I made sure the Brain Eaters paid the price. But at what cost to me? It's you.
This is the Halcyon News Network with breaking news. Halcyon Helen has been murdered. Administrator Ludovico of Rizzo's refused to answer the big question on everyone's mind. Who will Spectrum Vodka's next spokesperson be? Claiming that a special investigation must be concluded first.
Captain, we have a communication coming in from one Administrator Ludovico.
Get off the transmission, Cedric. We agreed to let me do the negotiating. Law be with you, friend. I am Administrator Ludovico of the famed Eridanos Atmospheric Complex. But there's no need to stand on formality. You may address me as Mr.
Okay, so she's been murdered, unlike the first DLC where it was pretty obvious, yes, it was going to be What's-Her-Face's mother right from the get-go. On this occasion, we've got a couple of red herrings tossed in to muddy the waters. Halcyon Helen had a partner, an ex-partner, somebody else who I've already forgotten, two informants, and something called like brain parasites, which would suggest, potentially, one person might be able to take over another, impersonate another, all sorts of... Okay, so brain parasites could definitely muddy the waters of a murder mystery.
Her death is the tragedy of our lifetime. As the face of our new product line, her murder is a stain on the Rizzo's brand. She was scheduled to unveil our newest product, Spectrum Brown, before this tragic event. But we cannot move forward with our unveiling until we apprehend the killer.
Okay, that's adorable. They don't actually care, they just need the thing to be, you know, nicely wrapped up so they can get on with launching the product she was about to launch. Marvellous. Though, yeah, why me? Why would you come to me of all people?
Alright, Ludovico, that's enough. You don't know what you're doing. Let me handle this. Captain Hawthorne, I've been looking forward to meeting Adjutant Akonde's favorite gun. Cedric Kincannon, Sublight Underground. I'm so glad we're hiring a third-party investigator. No one wants to see a troop of UDL guards stomping all over my hotel, least of all me. The murder of Halcyon Helen is a heinous assault on this colony. I look forward to watching you find the miscreant responsible and drag them out of the shadows.
Okay, I should stress, not actually working for, you know, the corporation at all. Just haven't actively stabbed them in the back yet, but sure, whatever. So, okay, they just want to keep the police and a whole bunch of troops out of the place. They want me there, because I'm nice and small, I might keep things nice and quiet. Which suggests they haven't been paying too much attention to the body count I generally leave behind me, but whatever.
You're a compassionate person, Captain. And you're right. Halcyon Helen was a talented woman. She had a gift for transforming her art into wealth. You would not believe the money she made us on Dissident Busters.
For law's sake, Cedric, could you show a little discretion and not bring up your contraband operations in front of an outsider?
Please, Lou. Sublight Underground is built on discretion. I'm establishing rapport with our new contractor. Let's not give her the impression that you can't be trusted.
Do you really want to do this right now, Cedric? You want to antagonize me while I'm negotiating a contract? Because I promise you, I'll win.
Okay, we've also got two people who clearly hate each other, so either of them could have done it too. So, no immediately obvious suspects. Got it. But yes, as far as I'm concerned, you're both idiots.
First sensible thing I've heard all day. My apologies, Mr. Ludovico. That was unprofessional of me. Captain, I'm Constable Maria Keene. Hiring a third-party investigator was my idea. I've been studying your dossier. You are Adjutant Akonde's most reliable freelancer. If the second most powerful person in Halcyon can depend on you, then I'd like to think we can depend on you. As far as I'm concerned, you're the ideal inspector for this case.
Okay, so the game will just come up with a reason for me being the ideal inspector, whatever happens. Gotcha. Inspector John, I do like the sound of that.
I'm pleased to hear that. The future of our complex may depend on your success. I'll leave you in the constable's care. Mr. Kincannon and I must have a word.
Fine. Bud Rizzo's is paying for that hotel room.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for your help. And even though they may not show their gratitude, I know Administrator Ludovico and Mr. Kincannon appreciate your involvement. Mr. Kincannon could lose his spaceport if board authorities took over the investigation, and if Rizzo's is forced to cancel its unveiling, we might never recover.
Okay, so again, they're more concerned about the money than they are about her, so... Yes, you seem a bit more competent and with it. You're not actively arguing with anybody. So, me and you, we can be friends, or at least you can provide me with some good information to kick us off.
I represent the law, Captain. But what's happening between Mr. Kincannon and the Administrator is... politics. Politics are not my area of expertise. The law is simple. Politics are complicated.
Okay, the law can be a bit complicated too, but, whatever. Yeah, you sound a bit tired of dealing with all of this.
Me? Worn out? Perish the notion. My days are filled with catering to the oh-so-reasonable requests of Mr. Ludovico and Mr. Kincannon. What's not to like?
Okay, so, yes, you don't like them, I don't like them either. Let's build a bit of a rapport here.
Your words, not mine. Please don't take my lack of disagreement as anything other than fatigue. I am a content, productive, and happy member of our society.
Okay, good. Everything's still a bit of a nightmare in this universe. Lovely. So, yes, I can see how Helen's death would be disruptive, but putting an end to your entire company seems a bit much.
Helen was more than popular. She gave something to this colony that no product line could ever provide. Real happiness. no one has ever been as well known or as well loved. Outside of our courageous business leaders.
Okay, so she doesn't 100% buy into the corporate propaganda. She has not drunk the Kool-Aid. Remember that, she could be useful.
Transmission terminated. Captain, we are now cleared to land at the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Eridanos is a hydrogen-helium gas giant, distinguished by a well-defined ring system. The Eridanos atmospheric complex is a system of land masses propelled through a thin layer of the upper atmosphere, where humans are potentially capable of surviving.
Okay, floating islands, cute. Ah, yes, that's why everyone's acting like I'm a corporate stooge. Sophia asked me to, yes, install the tracking signal in the base, and I told Wells about it, but Wells said no, do it anyway, because we're happy to play along with this is fine. So, 100%, I was going to skip the ship to Terra 2 and go along with Wells, but I haven't actively betrayed Sophia yet. That's why everyone thinks I'm on the corporation side, gotcha. Okay, important question. Who's coming with me? Because I'm pretty sure I know who are going to be the best companions for this one. You see, Halcyon Helen was in the Etherwave dramas, and two characters speak to each other on a regular basis about those dramas. And conveniently, it's my favourite too. It's Parvati and Felix, absolutely beautiful, who are already in matching armour, spectacular. So they're going to have the most information to share with me about Halcyon Helen, because they spend all their time watching soap operas, so they're going to know the backstory. Oh, flip me, it's gorgeous. So, right, we've landed, but yeah, it's floating islands with massive, massive engines, and they're like, you know, tied to the ground, except no, they're not, because there's no ground, it's a gas giant, so what are they... I don't know where that rope goes, but okay. There's all sorts of islands, and I'm guessing we need to earn access to them one by one, because you won't be able to cross until the game says so. So, okay, now this is rather cute. So we got two islands over there. We got, ooh. Okay, this goes quite a long way in that direction. Marvellous, but for the time being, yeah. I'm guessing we're going to the top floor to get the lay of the land.
Hello, hello, hello there. Hope your atmospheric entry wasn't too troublesome. As a guest of honor, you deserve the best in comfort. Sublight Salvage and Shipping Underground, or Slug, as we like to call ourselves, is delighted to welcome you to Eridanos. I'm the Grand Colonial Head Bellhop. I'm here to grab your bags and direct you, the Inspector, to the Grand Ballroom, which was the scene of the crime.
Okay, I'm liking this. We're getting straight into it. Marvellous. So, I'm guessing though, yes, you wouldn't be the person to actually give me the details because you're literally the bellhop.
I can try. I was the one who found Helen's body in the Grand Ballroom. Corpse wasn't in the best shape. Aside from that, I don't know a whole lot. Helen was supposed to host the unveiling for Rizzo's newest product, Spectrum Brown. Until you catch the killer, the unveiling has been indefinitely postponed. Helen's death has been a shock for many. A lot of people are inconsolable. Hell, even Black Hole Birdie, Helen's beau, has wandered off. Some folks think he had something to do with the murder, but I don't believe it.
Hey, Black Hole Birdie may be a savage brute on the field of honor, but he's no killer.
I still don't understand why anyone would have it in for Ms. Helen.
Folks get heated when it comes to serials and their actors, I suppose.
Okay, we've also got to factor in, of course, anything that Felix and Parvati say might be based on, yeah, the characters these people were playing, but they might be playing, like, you know, versions of themselves, or completely different characters. The real people might be totally different from the characters, so, okay, divisive figure. Best as we can tell, no, everyone seemed to love her, at least, well, that's what the cops said.
Not particularly. But I think some folks were jealous of her success, or otherwise viewed her as a threat. Reckon how she came about her fame didn't help.
Okay, carry on.
Why, she was a natural. People fell in love with her. She managed to wrangle up a following all on her own. She ended up about as famous and high-runged as your average VP, which rubbed a lot of Byzantines the wrong way. Actors ain't supposed to get preferential treatment. Let's see here. Oh, I already spoke briefly about the Spectrum unveiling, or lack thereof. It's still an awful shame. A lot of folks looking forward to that.
Okay, so potentially she comes from a lower class background or something. And in a world where you're supposed to be, at least in some people's eyes, either born onto the decadent planet or born onto the trash world, where you just have to work for everyone else's betterment, yeah, social mobility's probably a bit of a dirty expression. Gotcha. Though yes, the Rizzo's thing. Yeah, the implication seems to be they're gonna go under if this doesn't happen, so was the existing line doing incredibly badly?
You bet it was. Rizzo's rented out the ballroom in the hotel just for the launch event. Reckoned it was gonna be a real swell affair. Rizzo's ain't unveiled the product since the debut of Spectrum Ultraviolet. Invisible to the naked eye, and as it happened, prone to causing massive internal bleeding. Anyway, I think I've held you up long enough. Once you're ready, head down to the lobby. The ballroom is just behind the elevators. Meanwhile, I'll grab your bags.
Okay, so yes, they had some trouble with a slightly lethal product. Gotcha. They needed this to get back into the black, I assume. Also, yes, when you say bags, don't generally carry bags. Just carry giant piles of ammo, guns, stuff on my person.
You're making fun, right? Your luggage, belongings, kit, wherever you keep what you ain't wearing, you're still giving me a pretty blank look. Suppose it's none of my business, but do you just wear the same set of clothes all the time?
Okay, not always. Sometimes I take off my hat and put on a different hat. Yeah, your hat's stupid as well. Screw you.
Hey, this is a hotel-mandated piece of my uniform, and it's very official. Even if it is a bit stupid. Anyhow, I'll look for you in the grand ballroom later. Hope you can unravel this mystery, Inspector.
Okay, so he might be very important because he was literally the person who found the corpse. That's, you know, that's a pretty damn big deal. Aha, here we go. So we got ourselves a proper map here, so fine. 3 very small islands, a slightly larger island, and then a proper big mega island. Gotcha. What's going to be the best hat to be wearing? Because this hat gives me bonus perception, which is generally good for, yeah, the old murder. Good for headshots and weak spot damage. But if there's perception skill checks of some description, generally though, yeah, attributes don't have checks. That's just for skills. So in which case, if I'm going to be investigating people, maybe it might be a good idea to put on, yes, Reed's hat. In fact, you know what, actually, I've also got, yeah, let's actually, oh, that's the thing. Now I look fabulous, if slightly terrifying. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Okay, so have that for now, but remember, I've got, like, no armor on at the minute. Let's head straight to, yes indeed, the...
I feel like I'm spending a fortune just standing here.
Okay, so this is nice. This is all very pretty indeed. So I could just, you know, run off screaming into the countryside because, oh, that's nice. Look at that factory over there. You got some pink, some orange, and some blue. Probably that's horrendous pollution. It's going to kill everyone who works here, because this is the outer world. But it's also very pretty. When you don't know that, it's fine. And also, the grand colon, because some of the lights have failed. Okay, very good. Very, very good indeed. Oh, this is cute. Not sure how well you can hear it, but yes, the little kind of elevator jingle happening in the background there. That's the theme. The theme of the main menu. Just jazzed up and elevated a little bit. So
I did not read about this kind of treatment.
We got ourselves a nice little closed-off lounge. I'm guessing that's an evidence area. So you've got a name. We'll get back to you. They said yes, towards the rear. So here we flipping go.
Black Hole Bertie's disappeared, you know. That poor fellow must be inconsolable.
Okay, 1 missing suspect, and I assume I'm allowed through, right? Yep, how about my companions? Can they come? Assuming they can pathfind correctly. Yep, they're in too. Marvellous. So, right, aha! Constable Keene. Me and you, we can be friends. I liked you when we spoke on the phone.
Constable Maria Keene. It's good to meet you in person, Inspector.
Dr. Goodnight. Ecstatic to make your various acquaintances and so on. Are we finished with the pleasantries? There's something I'm excited to show you.
Okay, maybe exciting isn't the word you should be using right now, but carry on, sure.
What body? Oh, that. Goodness, no. This is far more interesting than Halcyon Helen's rapidly cooling corpse.
Our coroner has developed a device which may prove useful in your investigation. Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you.
Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you. Oh, please. You make it sound as if I'm turning over stolen goods. Behold, my discrepancy amplifier. Hold it in your hands. Feel the way it hums with ontological potential.
Okay, so... Right, with long guns and 60, looks like a scope modified with a computing device, or, with science, yes, deterministic calculus. I am in fact clever, as it turns out.
You're rather sharp in your upper story. I can see why you're the inspector. The discrepancy amplifier uses a deterministic model of our universe to detect the discrepancy between what should be and what actually is. Then it renders any discrepancies visible by using the power of magnification.
Okay, so... Not 100% sure that's science, but yes, it's a magnifying glass.
Yes, it's a magnifying glass, but an extraordinarily powerful one. It looks through the glass of reality itself.
I'm contractually prohibited from endorsing off-brand technology, but I'll bend that rule just this once. You'll want to peer into the amplifier and examine the crime scene.
Okay, got myself a discrepancy amplifier gun. Marvellous. And here we flipping go. So, okay, I'm guessing clues go wibble wibble woo. Here we go. Behind the corpse, we got ourselves invisible footprints.
This unit has detected a discrepancy related to Halcyon Helen. Unscheduled expiration of. Begin amplification?
I mean, sure, why not? But, you've also been designed with a modular analytical system.
The discrepancy amplifier has been programmed with advanced speech recognition, scientific analysis, and deterministic calculus protocols.
Oh, you'll love this. Amplifier, tell the inspector about your features.
Please do not interrupt the discrepancy amplifier. The discrepancy amplifier is programmed to take instruction from its registered or designated inspector.
How curious. I must have set its impertinence levels to flagrant.
This unit's features include an automated personality simulator. This unit has been programmed to simulate joy and satisfaction in assisting you.
Okay, that's nice, so it gets happy if I solve the murder. Lovely. So, yes, let's get to the discrepancy.
This footprint stands out from the normally spotless floor of the grand ballroom. Typically, the ballroom is cleaned twice daily, which means this must have been made by either Helen or her assailant or assailants.
Okay, but, like, there's only one set of footprints, so... Okay, you're not wrong. It is possible the assailant could have been giving a second assailant a piggyback ride, but it strikes me as unlikely, and yes, I'm going to taste it.
Don't do that. We got food back on the ship.
The dirt tastes earthy, with faint woody and fruity undertones. Okay, I'm just gonna lick everything I can. I really hope there is an ongoing joke where I can lick everything. And eventually, there might be some form of lick-related achievement, or maybe even lick-related solution, if you like lick the ultimate bad guy whenever we find out who that is. So, okay, how about the magic science tube tells me something that I can't figure out by licking it?
Footprint is a tailor-made 8.75. Suggesting that its owner was very particular about their shoe size. It is also the exact size that Halcyon Helen typically prefers. There are traces of dirt throughout the footprint.
Okay, hang on. When you say that she prefers, you mean that she wears herself? Because if so, yes, there was mention of brain parasites. Is it possible that the original Helen killed this Helen who's like a brain parasite imposter or something? Or, ooh, I don't know. So I'm seeing some purple berry in this dirt. Please analyze.
Excellent observation, Inspector. The following compounds have been detected. Purpleberry residue, nitrogen-rich fertilizer, common grass. Grass, fertilizer, and purpleberries can all be found in the purpleberry orchards, located not far from the Grand Colonio.
Okay, so that was a perception check. What I should do is, when I'm scanning, I should have my perception hat on. When I'm speaking to people, yeah, at that point go over to my talkie hat. And logically, okay, hang on, I just came up with the more logical solution, which is there is not an evil imposter alien. These are just Helen's footprints. Okay, these are the footprints she left as she came into the room. Gotcha. Sorry, that was more likely than alien brain imposter. Not sure why my brain went to alien brain imposter before. Okay, so these are just her footprints, but, oh, it's gonna be a long day solving this murder.
This deduction appears sound.
Good work, Inspector. I had a feeling we'd make some progress once we brought you onto the case. You'll need Administrator Ludovico to grant you access to the orchards. Contact him through the secure access terminal in your penthouse suite. Check in with the concierge. Your room should be ready by now. If it isn't, I may have to go shake someone by the collar.
And there we go, up to level 31, spectacular. When I say up to 31, I mean, like, again, because I already hit 31 the last time I was playing this game, in the last DLC. But it seemed fair to revert back to, 30. Now, what are we going to be needing? I feel like maybe, just maybe, a bit of hacking could be useful. Medical could be useful for examining corpses, but there only appears to be one corpse, and we've already seen it, so maybe not so much. Yeah, let's get some hacking in. Let's just get all the hacking in. Someone's gonna have a terminal that needs hacking. So, before we go out to the orchard, yes, Dr. Goodnight, you appear to be a doctor because your name is Dr. Goodnight. This is why I'm the inspector, damn it. So, what was the cause of death?
My apologies, Inspector. I've not yet finished my autopsy. Come back later?
Okay, well, you're bloody useless then. But, yes, you, theoretically might be a suspect, because you're wearing a mask, meaning you could be her long-lost twin sister under there or something. So, yes, let's hear about you.
Oh, why, I'm flattered, Inspector. Let me think. I've worked at the Grand Colonial for about as long as it's been around. Prior to that, I lived in Byzantium, but I always felt like it was missing something. And that something turned out to be corpses. Byzantium has much in the way of luxury, but examining the dead does not rank amongst the preferred activities of the elite.
Okay, so she's just super into corpses. Got it.
Absolutely. Usually I'm just a medical practitioner, so I almost never get to deal with anything as unique, or as quiet, as a corpse. The most interesting thing I saw prior to this was the back of Mr. Woolrich's throat after he blew out his vocal cords shouting at an attendant. If I weren't here, I'd be back in my quarters, rewatching Byzantium in the spring, or working on my automatic sprat peeler.
Ah, I see. So, you're normally just the resident doctor, but nothing much happens here. You're enjoying this because it's just a bit of action that also involves someone who can't yell at you. Got it? And yes, let's learn about this gibble she's just given me.
You're smarter than I look. Guess there's no shame in telling you exactly what it is you're using, seeing how you're so curious. As it so happened, my husband was mortally wounded in a marauder raid about a year ago. Wasn't going to live more than a few hours. I happened to have an excess of preservative fluids, a scanning device in need of a central processor, and a sudden burst of inspiration. A tragedy doesn't mean you can't be proactive.
Okay, so your husband's brain's in here. Surprised you would hand that over, yes?
Technically, it wasn't his whole brain, just a small cross-section, enough to operate the amplifier. But giving the amplifier to you is better than letting it rot in a closet somewhere. Besides, my husband was the prior constable. He would have wanted his brain used for the pursuit of justice.
Okay, so this thing might have a personality of its own. Gotcha. And speaking of this thing, yes, we might be able to get something else out of this area. A puddle of the new vodka. Helen appears to be attempting to use it to spell something. Ooh, that old chestnut. So, a sticky bee. Or maybe she just wants to draw a pair of boobs before she died, because she had a very puerile sense of humour. We'll never know. Ah, yes, Bertie. Black Hole Bertie, who I believe is her current boyfriend and or partner, but there was like an old one, though they're all supposed to be... Yeah, the bit at the beginning was suggesting they might have all died. She was like getting revenge or something, but that might have just been on the show.
I was wondering about that. Before we arrived, I heard something on the aether waves about Black Hole Birdie taken up at the Grand Colonial.
Correct. Bertie Black Hole Holcomb is a registered guest at the Grand Colonial Hotel.
Okay, yes, any more suspects we want to give me names of?
Accessing guest database B. The Grand Colonial Hotel is proud to serve the following VIPs. Bertie, Black Hole. Burbage 3001.
As for the constable, yes, let's verify the story we heard earlier. The bellhop, he was the first to find the corpse, I assume.
Norval, head bellhop. He was understandably distraught. I believe his feelings were genuine. He's a remarkably poor actor. Hotel security corroborates his whereabouts during the murder. I haven't included him in my list of suspects, but neither am I convinced of his innocence.
Okay, if his position was elsewhere at the time, then yeah, fair enough, he probably didn't do it. But why haven't you ruled him out entirely?
I'm a little suspicious of anyone who enjoys his job as much as Norval. He's also obsessive in his appreciation of Helen's work. Obsessive passion can lead to irrational behavior. It's a fact of modern science.
Okay, that is not science, that's just you making stuff up. That's appalling logic. Any witnesses, by the way?
If there were any witnesses, none came forward. Ballroom cameras were also offline at the time of the murder. Helen was very particular about having cameras on her. Security footage would have constituted documentary filmmaking. Can't afford that.
Okay, so that's not suspicious, that's just how she did business. Got it, and yeah, the murder weapon.
There's no sign of the murder weapon. Whatever it was that killed Helen, the killer took it with them. Frankly, I'm having trouble imagining exactly what it was that killed her.
And the autopsy's not done yet, so okay, we need to come back for that. But, yes, was she armed? Because in the video we saw, she had a big revolver.
Helen was known to carry her signature weapon, a bespoke handgun known as the Needler. There was no sign of any such weapon on her body.
The Needler's real? I watched her use that thing in the gunfight at the end of Terror on Monarch.
You keep excitable company. I hope they won't complicate your investigation by touching things. Spencer Woolrich and Bertie Holcomb are officially persons of interest in this investigation. I've mostly ruled out Mr. Woolrich, leaving Bertie Holcomb as my lead suspect. Let me rephrase that. He's your lead suspect. I've been instructed to turn this case over to your capable hands, while I continue to serve as a consultant.
Okay, Black Hole Bertie, gotcha, and yes, you sound relieved and intelligent. Aha, I know who these people are, so apparently the other guy was a star tossball player.
I know. This entire affair is beginning to sound suspiciously like a 2-bit serial. Mr. Woolrich was Halcyon Helen's professional rival. It's possible jealousy drove him to take Helen out of the picture. I apologize for the wordplay. Conversely, Mr. Bertie Holcomb was Helen's paramour. The relationship was reportedly dissolved. I can't rule out her murder as a crime of passion.
Okay, so the most valuable thing about her is her job. Her rival might want her gone so that he can become the next Rizzo spokesperson. So, why do you not think that's a pretty good motive? Because that seems like a good motive to me.
Woolrich thinks of himself as a serious and distinguished actor. He was frequently cast in demeaning roles, while Helen played the charismatic heroine. He has reason to be envious. I considered the possibility that Woolrich killed Helen in order to eliminate a rival and advance his own career. But my reasoning collapsed under closer scrutiny. Woolrich owes his career to Helen's dramas. Her death likely harms his long-term prospects. I'm struggling to determine a motivation for him, so I've largely ruled him out.
Okay, and as for Bertie, if they were lovers?
Mr. Holcomb was in a romantic relationship with Helen. This alone is not enough to make him a lead suspect, but he does play tossball. Black Hole Bertie currently holds the record for most non-consecutive blows to the head. His tendency toward irrational and violent behavior is well documented.
And we've also got a handful of suspiciously locked doors. So, okay, let's just keep this thing out, because this thing will start flickering at me if I get too close to any clues. So probably best we just, keep this old girl out all the time. Ah, yes, the concierge you were mentioned previously. So how about a key to my room, please?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but while the hotel is an active crime scene, I regret to inform you that all new bookings, room upgrades, room downgrades, and in-room massages are Oh, you're the special inspector. Mr. Kincannon warned me you'd be checking in soon.
Okay, when you say warned, but, okay. Yes, room key, please. Let's get set up upstairs.
Ah, yes. We are most pleased to offer you our grandest of grand accommodations, Inspector. The penthouse suite on our topmost floor is now available for you. The last guest left her belongings behind when she vacated unexpectedly, so we needed a little time to tidy the suite up for you. Simply call the elevator in the lobby, and our highly skilled operator will deliver you to your private floor with efficiency and cheer.
Okay, who was the last person? Because someone leaving and leaving all their stuff behind, that's a little bit on the suspicious side.
My apologies, Inspector, but that would be a severe violation of guest privacy. We here at the Grand Colonial firmly believe that... All right, my supervisor just walked out of earshot. Some folks just don't understand the importance of gossip. About whom? And what would you wish to know?
Aha, we might want to come back to you later, once we know more names we can ask you about. But, Halcyon Helen herself, please.
You know, out of everyone here, I probably knew the least about Helen. I'm not much of an Aetherwave watcher myself. And Helen always had a crowd of admirers chasing her, you see, so she rarely stopped to chat. Friendly enough, surely, but always seemed untouchable. Emphasis on seemed.
Okay, so anything suspicious at all?
Now that you mention it, she was usually calm and collected, but every so often I'd see her looking all wild-eyed and intense. It seemed as if she was determined about something. Or maybe she was just hungry? That woman ordered a lot of food. Maybe show business gives you a faster metabolism.
No, that's a secret person in her room. She had an extra person in her room who wasn't supposed to be there. 100%. Yes, the co-star.
If looks could kill, he'd have put her in the ground 10 times over. Man's clearly jealous of her success compared to his. See, I'd bet we're the only two people thinking about him in all of Eridanos. And I only am because you mentioned his name. If you leave woolly cow milk out, it turns to curds. Leave the curds out, they begin to get stale, then rot. Woolridge is on his way to the trash bin, and everyone knows it. Either he's in denial, or he knew Helen would be checking out soon, judging by his increasing demands for a room upgrade.
Okay, interesting, but why? Was he a terrible actor, or... We'll need to investigate that. And yes, Bertie, though, someone mentioned earlier he was missing.
Ah, Bertie. Is he bigger than he is dumb, or dumber than he is big? I've a bet with a friend. Not sure we'll ever get it to pay out. Bertie used to be Helen's beau, though he isn't anymore, and not just because she's dead. If I had 1,000,000 bits, I'd spend every one just to learn what caused their split.
Okay, if they broke up shortly before she died, that's certainly one hell of a motive right there. Okay, nothing too dramatic when I ask about the hotel, but one interesting thing about the lower levels...
Well, I suppose there is that one door we're not supposed to open. But I'm sorry, Inspector, I'm not authorized to grant you access to any staff sections of the hotel. You'll have to find a way in on your own.
A mysterious door that must never be opened. Right, so we're going to be wanting to get in there. And then we've got a VIP floor that normally I wouldn't be allowed access to, but a pretty darn simple persuade check will hopefully get me up there.
That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Okay, so that's going to let me search their rooms. Love it. But we do have... here we go. Round the back of the concierge. Hello. We got something right here.
An industrial-grade laxative has been added to the liquor in these bottles.
But nothing we can actually do with that. It's just... Okay, so I'm just gathering clues. Gotcha. And another bellhop over here.
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom.
Okay, I haven't, but your excessively cheery voice is starting to creep me out here. Sorry about that. Just looking around. Anything interesting you've got to say, Benny Chance?
I understand. There's much to see and do in the Grand Colonial, and I'm not hurt just because you didn't come here to see me. Not that hurt, anyhow.
And yes, indeed. Does she know anything about Norville? Because she's also a bellhop, and he did kinda find the body. So let's just see if we can learn anything else about him.
Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station.
Okay, so potentially yes, he might have been a bit of a fanboy, but that doesn't really make him a suspect in any way.
Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off.
Doesn't seem likely, because if so, they'd have to get in, kill her, and get out without anyone seeing them. Not really the marauder way. But on the plus side, you could be useful. If you've got cameras on the elevators at all times, anyone who goes up to the upper floors or comes back down, anyone Helen was hiding in her room, you'd know about, because at some point, they'd need to have snuck up with the elevator if there's no stairs. Okay, Norville's now inside by the elevators, but time to challenge him on what we've learned. You were apparently a little bit, obsessed with Helen, buddy.
I suppose you could call it that, but that don't mean I poked around her room or nothing while she was out. That'd be a huge breach of hotel policy. Besides, knowing Helen's athletic acumen, anyone who tried probably would have been found, beaten senseless, then hurled into the hallway, followed by the contents of a garbage bin. Probably, that is, it'd probably happen, but it didn't. I'm just theorizing. Now, what can I lend a hand with?
Okay, is that just a joke, or can I follow up on this? Because, yes, that does sound rather significant, potentially.
Day of her death, I saw Helen leave the hotel premises with the profit of profitability, and didn't see her come back. A little on the suspicious side, I think. Seemed especially strange, seeing how, as far as I was aware, the two didn't get on.
Okay, hang on. Who's the prophet of profitability?
Yep. Gives seminars on increasing profit margins and the like. Can't say much else, seeing how I ain't in the gossip market.
Okay, and they didn't get on?
Far as I can recall, Helen dismissed the lady's seminars in some kind of interview. Said her co-star used them, but she didn't. The top rungers are always ready to read between the lines of famous folks and seem to think the profit was on her way out. Woman lost a ton of bits and is set to lose more.
Okay, we could head up to the penthouse at this point, but before we do, let's just check if there's anything else around here, because, yeah, someone slipped laxatives into one of the drinks, so let's just make sure nothing's been missed out here. Still can't get into the lounge, but I think I saw earlier... Here we go. Got ourselves a door. Crack that open. And... Okay, sorry, this was just a toilet, and there's no evidence in here. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry about this. I did just break into a bathroom while you were using it, and... Well, you know what? Sometimes you've just got to go investigate, I guess. We got patient logs. Let's see what we can maybe learn here. So, two people that haven't been mentioned before. Okay, one executive who just drank too much, but this one's a bit more interesting. So, right. Miss Han and her sister went for a walk in the Purpleberry Orchards, where we believe, yes, Helen was, shortly before she was killed. Miss Han's sister visited the puzzle hedges, but quickly became lost. When she made her way out, Miss Han was nowhere to be found. The sister claims Miss Han returned to the hotel room several hours later, but has been unusual ever since. So, sullen, morose... Interesting. Okay, I might not have been 100% off with the whole brain slug alien clone thing. Because, yeah, someone went out to the orchards and then came back different. Potentially, the same thing was true for Helen. I think Helen might have been killed by Helen. The only question is, which one was the bloody real one? Right, been around the houses, don't see anything else, aside of course from the lounge, but I'm not allowed into that just yet, so... okay, up to the penthouse we go. Oh, now this'll do, and the rest of the team's here too. Okay, so if I want to trade in a different person, because Ellie's a doctor. Okay, she could maybe do, you know, her own autopsy. That might be better than Dr. Goodnight's, and there's just a bit of clothing here. Okay, apparently they didn't bother properly cleaning the place after, the suspicious last woman who disappeared. And one thing we do have, the Prophet of Profitability. So, okay, a productotherapy seminar with the renowned Prophet of Profitability. Her name was Jasmine Laver. Okay, in her retreat at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve, under her patented system, purge your body of nefarious humours. Okay, so a grifter, got it. But why was Helen hanging out with a grifter she hated, shortly before she died? And, as I suspected, there's something going on here. Who was the last person in this room, and why on earth didn't you, clean the damn thing before I moved in? Still, let's get ourselves a bit of audio.
Helen, where did we go wrong? Oh, Lord, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for... Helen, I love you. I love you so much.
Okay, that's a little suspicious. He was very upset about the breakup. That's most definitely a potential motive. But what else have we got here precisely? Okay, something going on over here. Some trousers or clothes or something.
The imprint left inside this suitcase matches the silhouette of Halcyon Helen's iconic handgun, the Needler. The weapon was recently removed.
Okay, so based on this audio log, Bertie was here. He had the gun. Potentially they were still together when they arrived at the hotel, which is why the gun was here. He removed the gun and, well, if that was a gunshot, if that was how she died, then surely everyone would know. There'd be, a massive impact wound. There'd be blood everywhere. So that doesn't seem likely in terms of how she died. So, alright, that's all we got here at least. And I'm guessing this will be... yes, the old terminal, though. Hang on, there was a terminal in here as well. Just make sure there's nothing, going on with... welcome R. Bellamy. Well, that's not me. John Ruth Bellamy was Helen. It said that at the... sorry. Okay, yes, Ruth Bellamy played Halcyon Helen. Halcyon Helen was a character. Yes, okay, that was in the beginning. Got it. And yes, we know Helen and this woman went for a bit of a walk at some point, so I don't understand why you and I have to be enemies. Are we not both branches on the same tree of privilege? You command audiences with your masterful performances on the ether wave. I command the attention of our corporate leaders. We're both cultural icons with a responsibility to set a good example. Okay, if what we heard earlier is true, the Prophet of Profitability was in trouble. She might have been trying to hook herself onto Helen, do some form of collaboration to salvage her career. And then a very plain email from, yes, Ludovico, just saying, cheers for backing Spectrum Brown. Gotcha, though nothing dramatic going on there. So, okay. She was definitely here, though, whether or not she actually moved in with her then boyfriend or not, probably so if the note is in this room. Still, let's check in with Ludovico.
Inspector, I understand you've visited the scene of the crime.
Okay, what do we know so far? So, orchard or... yes, I've got a lead, can't tell you any more, but I need access to the orchards. Let's keep him out of the loop for now, because for all we know, it could have been this guy that did it.
Your discretion is appreciated. I admit, I'm beginning to feel more confident in this arrangement. Here, I'm granting you access through the gates to the orchards. You're officially authorized to see this investigation through to the end. There is one caveat. Cedric's being rather intransigent about letting you into the spaceport. Possibly he's trying to hide something. Possibly he wants to annoy me. Possibly both.
Okay, so that's going to be one of the other islands, which right now I can't get into. And yes, indeed, if he's looking down his facility the moment an investigator arrives, bit on the suspicious side, wouldn't you say, Administrator?
I agree with the sentiment behind your snide remark. Unfortunately, the Piraeus spaceport is Cedric's purview, not mine. You have a lead to chase. Law speed, Inspector.
Okay, not much we can do yet, but that is certainly suspicious. It might not be related to this case, but he's doing something he doesn't want found. And here we go. We got ourselves an island. Marvellous. Here we go. Purpleberry orchards in this direction. And Lily Vargas. We've got somebody with a name. Hello there.
Swear to the architect, Matthias, if you've lost your rifle's ionization coil again. Oh, wait. You ain't part of my crew. What do you want?
Okay, who are you and why are you here? And who's Matthias? No, hang on, let's just start with you.
Tightly wound? Tightly wound? Damn right, I'm fine. I'm going to my calm place, where there's peace and quiet, and none of my sprat fucking subordinates can bother me. On behalf of Slug, I'd like to apologize for that outburst, as well as all of my future outbursts. Yes, I'm a little wound up. You would be too. Between the landing pad, lockdowns, gate closures, and constant questions from angry guests, I've got a lot on my plate. And if that don't beat all, one of my crew is AWOL.
Okay, so she's head of corporate security, and she's got a missing person. Well, I'm an inspector, so I could take that over.
If you're serious, I'd appreciate the help. He's been missing a few days, and we're low on staff as it is.
Okay, a few days is a bit of a long time to wait to bother looking.
It's not exactly uncommon for slug agents to go on the odd bender. They'll pick a place they think I don't know about and hunker down. Usually I don't bother with the discipline and paperwork. Gotta pick your battles. Thing is, they usually resurface within 24 hours, or at least yell for medical help. This guy, not a peep.
Okay, what do I need to know?
The missing crew member's Evan O'Connell. He's one of about 2 slug agents I can trust with more complex tasks than stand here and look tough. Friendly type. Well-behaved, followed orders. Anyone else, I'd think they got drunk and fell asleep in a ditch somewhere, but O'Connell's not really the type. He was last stationed at the Wilderness checkpoint. I'd search there first.
Okay, got ourselves a brand new mission. Marvellous. And that would bring me over here, going in this direction. Aha. Okay, so that'll be the Wilderness. Now, someone mentioned something about this. It sounded like it might be some sort of, like, safari area, but with hunting. So, yes, Wilderness exploitation area or something was mentioned. So, I'm guessing something nightmarish is going on over there. Might have just got himself eaten by a monster. Could be that simple, but let's get back to him later. Because I am way more interested in the brain parasites that blatantly exist inside this here orchard. Oh, I say that. Can't help but notice there's a handful of... oh dear. Handful of dogs appear to have moved in, potentially. Have we got anything more serious than... oh yeah, we got trouble. We got some trouble. We got lots of trouble, actually. So... okay, how about you guys just go take care of that if you'd be so kind. Just go and kick him in the balls. Thank you. I've got a pretty good spot up here. So, okay, Parvati's just going over in that direction, so that's fine too, I suppose. Okay, what else is around? Feels like there might be a few of them, so how about we just charge up a nice blast and boom! Okay, so that's going to be you nice and dead, and there we go, because there's no friendly fire in this game. Okay, so Marauders do exist on the outskirts. And then just further down over to here, we got another guy, together with a Bolter 3.0, but something else too.
Security Officer Danvers, nightly report number 27. No sign of trouble, but I'm on the lookout. If it's out there, I'll find it. Wait, I think I see someone. Approaching now. Excuse me, sir or madam. I require your participation in my nightly security report.
Okay, I guess we should reasonably assume he came across some form of secret thing happening right over here. So, okay. Like a safe, but I can crack that open, and connect to complex maintenance terminal keycard. Well, as I'm very good at lockpicking, I definitely think we should be taking some of that. Lovely. And we've also got a frigid gun of some description. Level 31, so okay, it's a match to my level. Does 263 to 394. So, not terrible, to be honest. Does also cause stagger. I mean, you know what? That's not too bad, all things considered. So, just for fun, we'll use that for a bit, see how we feel about it. So, okay, point at something and... it makes a good noise, I'll give it that. Also, can I use these here steps to... okay, well, I appear to be slightly... okay, I probably shouldn't jump down onto the engines. They're apparently hot. Ah, here we go. So that key, I've probably got the hacking for this anyway, but just in case I don't, that key gets me into a terminal. And now the freezy gun makes sense. So, coolant. This guy was delivering coolant because, as we just established by jumping on them, because I'm a master investigator, engines are hot. They were draining off the coolant, the actual, the marauders. They were draining it off to make a freeze gun, which they apparently succeeded at. Marvellous.
It's Amelia. Evan must have gotten into the Spectrum in these crates. Listen to this. Come out! Come out to play! Law, he's having a grand old time. I'm gonna take him to A2 under the hotel so he can sleep it off. I'll meet you back at the orchard straight after. See you soon. Evan, come on, you slackwit.
Okay. Evan was here and not doing so hot. Like, the woman said he was all straight-laced and could be trusted. So, okay. A2 under the hotel. We now know where he was taken, though whether he's still there or not, we don't know. And here we go. We have made it to the orchard. So find Helen's trail. But we've also got ourselves a shopkeeper who might well theoretically know something. And on top of that, overseer. Okay, or overseeing. Okay, presumably you're like, aha!
Your people weren't sabotaging my operations.
Naturally, we have walked in just at the moment where one person is yelling at another, summing something, science sabotage, operations, diddly diddly dee. So, okay, I would say that is enough for now. We will be continuing this tomorrow as we head into the orchard and try and figure out what the mystery is. And I'm still basically putting all my money on brain parasite replicoids, because something weird was going on, alright? That terminal with Nina suggests I'm not 100% wrong on this. So, big island to go through, whole bunch of people to interrogate, a whole bunch of stuff to dig into. But, oh, this is good. This is good right here. Obsidian's basically said, I know, let's make a giant investigation murder mystery game, and, oh, I'm looking forward to digging into more of this. So hopefully you join me tomorrow for precisely that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been The Outer Worlds. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rad scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet, though. I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.